Good morning, beloveds. Um, I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. It's warm out there, and it was run day, so we went for a run, and it's warm out there. It's warm out there, so I don't know. It could be an interesting summer simply because my power went off at 5:30 this morning. I know because I woke up when my fan shut off. Fortunately, it was only out for a minute or so, and it came back on, and I debated whether I needed to get up and reset the electronic alarm clocks, and then I decided not to, because I have four-legged with fur alarm clocks, and they never fail. The power out does not affect the four-leggeds with fur, and one of the four-leggeds with fur, one of the cats got my partner at about the time the alarm would have gone off. So it's interesting if you have a pet and you need to take a medication at a certain time. Then what they say to do is to give your pet a treat at that certain time, because you may forget to take your medication, but that pet will not forget that treat. And so you keep the treats and the meds together, and the pet's going to remind you, you're supposed to be giving me a treat now. Which makes it interesting when the time changes. Because we have a cat with hyperthyroid, an overactive thyroid. And so we give him a medication twice a day. And so what we do is we give him a treat when, after we do because he hates the ear gel. He hates the ear gel. Trust me, he hated the pills worse though. So, and there's no disguising the pills. Like he's not a big enough eater that we could trust that he would just eat the pills. So we give him a treat after the ear gel. So he gets a treat twice a day, and it's interesting because with the routines, like if we get out of the house a little early and we're back in the house a little early, like he's in the kitchen going, "Is it time for second breakfast?" Which is what we call his morning meds. But he's in there going, "It's time, right? It's time." He will never. And sometimes at night, we're both tired and we're like, and at 8:30, he's in the living room going, "Isn't it time for you to be feeding me?" Which we feed all the cats at 8:30. They all get that evening treat. And so he knows, and so we don't forget his meds. So it's an interesting way if you have four-leggeds with fur and you need to set an alarm for something, give them a treat. Feed them. They will remember and they will go off even when your power is out. So I don't know where that came from. You just get random fun facts from me in the morning. But as you can tell, I feel good today. I worked out Tuesday. I went for that run, and it was all I could do to get through it. It was awful, but today I feel good. Like the run was good today. I felt a little bit in my back, and that's probably what the workout that I did yesterday. But I feel good, so yeah, it's gonna be a good day. All right, even if my power didn't shut off at 5:30 in the morning, but it came right back. I can deal with the power being out for short periods of time, although it does make me unhappy. Ugh. And I'm seriously considering solar. All right. It is June 17th. I find the one in all. Our Emerson quote is, "I live in succession, in division, in parts, in particles. Meantime, within man is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one." All right, Emerson. And this is what Ernest and Raymond have to say. "I have faith in one God, one action of love, and one life that is all and through all. God must be one, for my life bears witness of a unity of creative action that I alone can upset. This eternal one mind, acting through one law, is never confused by the stupidity of man. It remains forever poised in its self-knowing, in its own self-knowing. And this is the rock of ages to which I always turn when my own thinking has led me astray. I am never alone, never forsaken by the truth. Its patience is forever, and as I return to its premise, it welcomes me and gives me all that it is. Details can no longer exhaust me, and my variety of duties shall no more disturb me. In all that I have to do, there is a single power and a single mind operating. It directs my ways and makes light my burdens. I arise out of the many and find rest in the one. I now accomplish all that needs to be done with inner peace and poise. No longer distracted, I work with ease. Life is a pattern of wholeness, and all details fall into their right place and are completed with ease. I am overshadowed by wisdom and embraced by love. It is good to know this and to feel the one divine presence. I now am able to find the beauty of the Spirit in all things. The commonplace becomes the threshold of God, and every minute action glows with the harmony of spirit. Nothing I do is too menial, for God greets me in every action, and peace enfolds me as I work. All false pride is swallowed up in the victorious attitude of God's work in me, through me, and by means of me. I am the vehicle of truth, and I am worthy of the divine trust. I dedicate this day to the allness of God. I perceive his face in every face I see. I do his work in every job. I glorify my Father by living as his son. Wow. All right, I really like today. I will grant you that with them using the Emerson quote, it makes me work a little bit harder. But today, today, okay. So it's what I try to do, though, is to see the one in the allness. When I meet people, I look for God. I look for God. When I look around the world, I look for God. Do I do it 100% of the time? No, but I really do try. It's my goal to see God everywhere. And it's what I practice. It is what I practice. I practice doing that so that I do it. I'm working it into my default setting. Because it changes the way I look at the world. It changes the way I interact with people. And so it is the goal. And today's reading really spoke to me in that manner and explains kind of why I do it and how I can do it and why it's important to me. And it's one of the most beautiful things that I think in Science of Mind teaching is the multiplicity from the one. The variety from the one, that we all come from the same source. We all have the same base. And what we do from there is up to us. And it can absolutely all be beautiful if we remember who we are, if we remember where we come from. So I find the one in all. And it's a statement. We live in succession and division in parts, in particles. Because we do. We're human. We are, by virtue of materiality, stuck in this illusion of separateness. Because the material shows us a division. But underneath that, we're one. Which is what the next line says. Meanwhile, within man is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one. So, yes, we live in this illusion, because material is not illusion. The separation is the illusion. But within us is the wholeness. Okay, so I have faith in one God, one action of love, and one life that is in all and through all. God must be one, for my life bears witness to a unity of creative action that I alone can upset. Basically saying there's one, and we are the only thing that can get between us and the one. I am not saying that we can't get in each other's way, because we absolutely can and do get in each other's way. But we can't get between each other and the one. Okay? The only person who can get in our way between us and the one is us. There is nobody who can cut you off from your source. There's nobody who can cut you off but from God. And in the truth is, even you cannot cut yourself off from God. You cannot cut yourself off from the Spirit, but you can create that feeling. You can create that feeling. And that is what Ernest says is the true healing that needs to be done in the world, is to heal that feeling of separation, because it's not the truth. This eternal one mind acting through one law is never confused by the stupidity of man. I can't even with that sentence, but basically, whatever it is that we get up to is never going to confuse God. It remains forever poised in its own self-knowing, and this is the rock of ages to which I always turn when my own thinking has led me astray. Where do I go? I go back to the source of my being. I go back to the Spirit. I go back to the God. I am never alone, never forsaken by the truth. Its patience is forever, and as I return to its premise, it welcomes me and gives all that it is. Gives me all that it is. Read The Prodigal Son, because that is the story. We go off thinking we know better, we come back, and God throws out God's arms and sets a feast to welcome us back. We do not have to come back to God in shame. Details can no longer exhaust me, and my variety of duties shall no more disturb me. I have work to do, but I have support in doing that work. In all that I have to do, there is a single power and a single mind operating, and it directs my ways and makes light my burdens. Because if I know where to turn, then I will be granted everything that I need to do the work that I have to do. I arise out of the many and find rest in the one. I now accomplish all that needs to be done with an inner peace and poise, because I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know where my power comes from. I know the source of my power. And I know the source of my inspiration. No longer distracted, I work with ease. Life is a pattern of wholeness, and all details fall in their right place and are completed with ease. I am overshadowed by wisdom and embraced by love. It is good to know this and to feel the one divine presence. Because if we can feel that divine presence, then everything else will fall into place. I'm not saying it's not going to take work. I'm not saying we don't have work to do. He right here is saying, yeah, we've got work to do. We've got lots of work to do. But we don't have to do it by ourselves. In fact, we never do it by ourselves, even if we feel like we're doing it by ourselves, because the one is always with us. The one is always with us. That's the good news. I now am able to find the beauty of spirit in all things. That's why I love photography, because I look for the beautiful. And it changes from day to day. The commonplace becomes the threshold of God, and every minute action glows with the harmony of spirit. I hear one of my cats. He does not feel good. I'm gonna have to go check that out very shortly. Hey Zen, come here, baby. The commonplace becomes the threshold of God. So it's like when you look with the God eyes, you see the spirit within, and it glows with beauty. Nothing I do is too menial, for God greets me in every action, and peace enfolds me as I work. Nothing I do is too menial. I love that. All right. All false pride is swallowed up in the victorious attitude of God's work in me, through me, by means of me. So there's no such thing as menial work, because when we infuse whatever it is that we do with God, then it becomes glory. And there's no false pride when we do big work, because we know why we're doing it. We know who we're doing it for. In other words, we've let ego sit in the passenger seat, not in the driver's seat. Ego has a job, but it doesn't get to drive. I am the vehicle of the truth, and I am worthy of the divine trust. I dedicate this day to the allness of God. I perceive God's face in every face I see. I do God's work in every job. I glorify my God by living as his child. So that's the mission today. The mission today is to glorify God by living as his child, by living as God's child, by living as God's child. In everything that you do, to look with the eyes of God, to do the work as if, whatever work it is that you do it as if you were serving the Spirit. Because the truth is, whatever work you do, you are serving the Spirit, because the Spirit's all around you. All right, beloveds, I need to go find out what that cat's talking about. So I'm going to encourage you, as I always do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever it looks like, be it big, be it small, it doesn't matter. Practice your loving, kind compassion on yourself, because you deserve it. No one deserves it more than you do. All right? And if you practice it on yourself, you'll have more to share with all of the little godlings that you meet everywhere. All right. There is no menial task. Just like you'll never look in the eyes of somebody that God does not love, especially your own. So drink some water. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. Get some fresh air. I know it's hot. So you don't have to open your windows, but I went out, got my face full of sun, got some fresh air, got my body and blood moving, and I'm gonna have a good day. All right. So whatever you need to do to have a good day, but please open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It's right here, right now, all around you. It merely asks that you look with the eyes of God so you see the beauty in the commonplace. Because that's what God does. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day. And it's Thursday. Okay, so it's Thursday. There is a prayer circle available. I think it's done by Telebridge. Yeah, it's done by Telebridge. Okay, yes. So it's done by practitioners John and Marissa. If you are interested in that, please email info@creativelife.org. Get on our mailing list, because the information to get to that prayer circle is available. They do it at 7 to 7:30 Central Time. every Thursday. So that is available to you. They are wonderful practitioners. Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back at 9 a.m. with you. Do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. You are loved.